the defensive end?
You know, you can look at Sean Jones's box score and say, oh, you know, he didn't shoot it very well, he didn't play great, etc. But I thought he played, you know, with great mental. I thought he had a great approach. I thought he was flying around, defending, you know, running the court. And then for him to take that shot, you know, I talked about it in the locker room with the guys. I mean, that he just got confidence running through his veins because that was a big shot at a big moment. And you know, he hadn't made one, and he had shot a few, and you know, I was proud of him. That was a big shot for him personally, and kind of says, you know, shows you where he's at. But I thought, you know, Keyshawn obviously gave us a big boost on the offensive end. He made 4 of our 25 baskets. He obviously is very talented. We've been talking about him since you know, we've arrived. And on the other end, you know, he struggled a little bit on that end of the floor. He blew some coverages, and certainly he's got to get going on that end. And you know, we basically in the second half started saying we can't play him that long. You know, just his game legs and his rhythm and his cardio. But he, especially given the DJ situation, it was nice to be able to have another guy to throw out there. You know, that had some size.
We got a Paul right in front of
Got a
Coach.
couple. I guess, first of all, just your thoughts on the defensive effort, especially in the first half against Georgia. And then it kind of goes under the radar with the scoring that people had tonight. But to see Rams get 8 assists and direct that offense like he's accustomed to doing.
Yeah, our first 10, 12 minutes of defense was as good as any 10, 12 that I can remember in a while. I thought we were locked in, and they were fighting and scratching and clawing, and even their first basket was, you know, a tough shot that Thomason made, and you know, we were really guarding them, and that was kind of deflating a little bit, but we were going. Our motors were revved, guys were flying around, our huddles were really good. The second half, obviously, they scored a little bit more, but I still felt like we were guarding. Certainly, you know, Key comes into play at times. But we did a good job of getting the scout in the game. We did some different things in some of their actions, and I was nervous about it because we had blew a couple of those coverages leading up to the game, but we stuck with it, and then they did fine. You know, they did fine. They were assignment correct, and but that style of play, you know, that's kind of been the blueprint for a lot of our wins, and we talked a lot about that heading into the game of how we need to play, we need to stay in our character, and I thought for the most part we did tonight.
Tanner on the end of Coach's right, first row.
Coach, Georgia's top 3 leading scorers, all guards. What do you think of kind of the backcourt defense from y'all's side tonight?
Thomason really hurt us, especially early. You know, he kind of carried them in the first half, and we talked a lot about him at halftime. Of when you're guarding him, you just, you know, can't have your hands down at all. He's got size, and he's got some shiftiness, and that step back move that he could create some space, and we don't have the biggest guards out there all the time. So that was a big, you know, topic of discussion. And then we had went under a couple ball screens of guys that, you know, you can't afford to do that. So we were trying to, you know, get that into the halftime adjustment part of the game. But I think overall, in face value, that they did a pretty good job. You know, you got to guard a lot of action, a lot of ball screens. They got great spacing. They got downhill guys. I thought I did an excellent job on their point guards with Hill and Damari. Like, I think our guys really fought them. We talked a lot about staying down on shot fakes. You know, they're really good at getting in the lane and then, you know, enticing the big or the guard to fall for it. And we checked it a couple times, which was disappointing. But overall, again, on face value, I thought we did a pretty good job out there.
We'll go second row to Coach's right with Danny P. and then Brian.
Coach, 4 guys in double figures scoring wise, or 2 got his points, but Keyshawn getting 10. How important was it to get that balance scoring? And Cameron was almost there.
Yeah, I mean, we prefer that. It's just harder to play against, harder to scout. And I didn't really address it, but you know, I singled out a couple guys in the locker room. Sometimes we do that, sometimes we don't. But Rams Davis was one. You know, 8-1 is elite, and he was playing hard. Like, he was competing, he was pushing the ball, he was making the right pass. He again, in that little flurry we had, he made the 3 to give us some distance, and I thought he played really, really well. So it's, you know, we don't care how we win. Certainly, you know, if we got a couple guys getting 20 plus, great. But I think if we had our druthers, we'd have more guys in double figures like that.
Which stat makes you happier? Only 10 turnovers or 16 of 19 from the line?
10 turnovers. I like them both a lot, but I gotta say, because of that Achilles heel, and obviously in SEC play, we're not shooting at the line like we were in the fall. It's dropped considerably, but they've been working. Cam Matthews has been in that gym on his own, and for him to get the reward, it's got to make him feel good going forward.
We'll go back to the cameras and Grace, and then we'll come down to Justin.
Georgia led just once, and it was in the first 2 minutes of the game. Despite their runs, how were you guys able to keep them at an arm's length distance away?
Yeah, we kept relying on our defense. Just talking about getting multiple stops. Our leaders, like Tolo Smith, was very verbal in the huddles. He was very encouraging. Every huddle, he was talking to the guys and saying the right stuff. And Cam Matthews was doing it as well. And our huddles were lively. They were energized. They were competitive. And it felt good. Obviously we got up 13, and then bang, it was like 5. When they got added the point with the video review of the 3, and felt funny right there, because I thought we've been playing pretty well, and we were only up 5. But I was really happy to see the response. Let's just be honest. Like, we didn't have a good taste in our mouth. We were very disappointed about our effort and the final score in our last outing, and I felt like Monday and Tuesday were huge days for us, and how we were going to respond. And I just told them when I drove home Monday, because I didn't know. And after the talks and the practice, that, hey, they responded about as well as I could have asked them to respond. And then to be able to, win a game at home and play the way we did, that's got to get them more confident going forward on what we need to do.